Cecilia Cenciarelli, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Thank you for having some minutes for us. You are the co-director of the Il Cinema Ritrovato,
Cinema Ritrovato.
which is one of the most important cinemas about cinema classic. How did you get to this film festival?
I work at the Cineteca di Bologna since the year 2000. That's when I entered the Cineteca di Bologna. And the festival was created within Cineteca di Bologna. So it's a film archive. It's the now director of the film archive, Gianluca Farinelli, who created the festival 37 years ago when he was very young. He was 24, together with Nicola Mazzanti. And our festival is an expression, like an extension of the work that we do year-round. So it's a festival that is generated by the experience of programming theaters. We have 2 theaters, our Cineteca has 2 theaters, restoring films. Our laboratory, l'Immagine Ritrovata, is specialized in film restoration and existed since the 90s. And we have libraries, we work with archives, paper archives of great directors. We have the Pasolini archive. I worked extensively on the Charlie Chaplin archive, the papers and the photos. We have the De Sica archive. So we worked, and we have publishing, we have educational activities. So let's say that it's a sort of a holistic approach. It's the understanding of the history of cinema through all these entry points that is reflected onto the programming of the festival, which is done with all the other major film archives in the world. So it's a collective effort in that sense, because through the years, each cinematheque in the world, there are over 170 cinematheques in the world. We've created a network of work, of exchange. So it's like every major cinematheque brings their new restoration to our festival. The festival, which was once very small when it was created, was just 2-3 days in the weekend in the winter. Now happens every last Saturday of June, lasts for 8 days. We have 7 theaters, very large open air screening at night. We run films from 9 to midnight. We run over 500 films in 8 days. Mind you, we do silent cinema, and in silent cinema, 1-minute film counts 1.
Okay.
But it's a great effort. And we look at the history of cinema with no time limit, with no space limit, with no geography limit. So we do films from 1895 to almost nowadays. And there are some sections that are more obscure than others. And then there's programs that are very popular with classics that are watched in the best possible conditions. We do lots of ciné-concert with the orchestra that accompanies the films. So it's a total experience.
So, talking about a different experience, which could be the message for the young people that they say classic cinema is so boring. Some people they say that because it's old, and which is old is no good. That's the mind in some people. Which could be the message you could send to them?
Well, when I started working at the Cineteca in the year 2000, and I'm using this example because it's a very good example, the festival had a group. It wasn't this big as now. Now we have 4,000 accredited people. It's large, 65 countries. It's very large. But even when I started there 23 years ago, there was a group of very faithful audience, and this audience was aging because they were with us from the beginning, and it was aging, and it looked like a club of friends that gathered around to see the things that they like. And we felt we love this audience. We love our old mentors that taught everything. But we thought, if this audience grows old, it will die out. So how do you convey to a normal audience, a young audience, that archives are not dusty, are not boring, classic cinema you see kids, even if they see black and white, they say, no, that's black and white. There are barriers that are the commercial cinema, the commercial world that we're in. There are barriers that have been put in cinema, like in many other departments, like that's silent, that's old, I can't, it's too complicated, or that is just for an elite, that's for a niche, that's to, what you need is really to have young people sit even once in front of something you think is extraordinary, and all the barriers disappear. Because even the filmmakers that they like, Tim Burton, or I don't know, maybe Tim Burton is already, I don't know what a 14-year-old would consider cinema that they consider modern, but every filmmaker, like in every art, they take from the previous artist a little something they like and they carry on. Art is by imitation. So if you really are passionate about a filmmaker and you can see that that filmmaker has nourished from a lot of different films, then you get interested in it. What we did was to try to enlarge the scope of our programming, try to reach young people through university, so we involve more university to come and see, but we also did something else that I think is working very well. We built a group of young film critics. It's a free project. We coordinate that, and this year we had 20 young people between 15 and 18 running around the theaters and writing reviews, and then they had to present their review or write their review, but usually it's oral, and make little clips as to why you suggest another young person, another friend of yours, to go see that film that they saw. And then we let them pick their favorite, and then we let them introduce those films during the festival. So I think it's just finding ways to involve actively young people. So you give them tasks, and they respond in an incredible way. So now this is becoming very successful. So we have young crews that go around, interview, and we select them, and they go, and they're foreigners or Italian, it doesn't matter. Then they meet, they start talking about what they like. So I think it's important not to be afraid of proposing new things and to find just the right language to say there's no old or new cinema, there's just, and then when they see how innovative some old films were, it's still the avant-garde or some, I mean, we don't have so many innovations in cinema today as we had even 100 years ago. And once they see that.
Two more questions. Just to have an idea of which is the film you feel more proud of to be restored.
It's impossible. It's an impossible. It's like saying, what's your favorite Beatles song? Yeah. I mean, it's impossible. We were very proud, if I had just to pick one at the top of my head, we were very proud we were able to restore the whole of Charlie Chaplin. The whole of Charlie Chaplin works. And that is very old for young people, right? So it was an incredible discovery to see how people reacted to that.
Is that what you say is called the Project Chaplin and Keaton?
Yes, we also restored the whole Buster Keaton, very different animals. Keaton is it's considered more modern because his use of camera and his persona really traveled 2 times. But because he was considered already kind of weird at the time, his acting, his persona. But yes, both of them, it was a surprise for us to see how people of any generation would react to that. And we brought those films back to fruition. We added the new recorded scores. It was a really 360-degree project, and we worked with the archives. So new books were written, new theses were written. So it really came back to life. Of course, we're talking about a master, but not that easy to bring somebody who made film 100 years ago to fruition anyway.
So hopefully one day we will be able to watch a movie of Chaplin or Keaton in Bologna.
Yes.
So far, we wish you good days here till the end of the film festival in Valladolid, in SEMINCI. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.